Hello everyone and welcome to this update episode for Neptune Park. A lot of people wanted to know kind of what the progress of the park was like quite a few episodes ago. For me, these requests were coming through in sort of May, June for me. It's now August. I imagine it's going to be a lot later for you guys because there were a lot of episodes released between. So that's what I'm going to do today. Just going to give you a tour of the park, and we'll start with the parking lot, the car park. Again, there's a lot of like rough edges for this park that I need to iron out. So I'm overall fairly happy. It's fairly unrealistic, but I quite like the unique aesthetic to the entrance tunnel there. And likewise, I quite like the bus depot and the actual backstage area of the main building. Let's get that microphone a bit closer. However, other areas, you know, I've got these slits in the paths that probably need filling in at some point, like I did with here. And the actual entrance to the monorail is not great. The monorail station is basically there to serve as the spawn point for the guests. See, that's where guests spawn from. So this monorail, we like running, but it will just be there to kind of give the impression that guests are arriving, that it doesn't actually serve any practical purpose. It just goes into this mountain, does like this loop, and then comes back out again. I'll have that just running on repeat. This is the entrance building again. I don't know if I'm ever going to do anything to this because I don't really like designing interiors, and I don't think it really makes for good video content because the camera has to be lurching around so often. So at the moment, the entrance building is just this bare area. But let's get to the area that I think you guys care about the most, and that is the park itself. So let's do this some justice. Just come through the park. We're gonna have some like stalls here or something like information boost, and we come out. I'm trying to keep this at ground level. And there we are. So this is the first thing you're greeted with. There we go. So we've got toilets up there. We have a little restaurant over here. I actually really like the way this sort of decking area came out. In fact, the whole front of this area, I really like. Well, I guess by extension, the whole entrance building, I think really came together. I really like the way the entrance building came out, and I'm gutted I haven't really done much with it. But in terms of the appearance, I really am happy with the appearance. So I got that going for me. And obviously we have our first rides. On the left we have the Wendigo, and on the right we have Calamity. Calamity is the only one really, and other than Enterprise, I think that actually has a dedicated sign for it. So I should probably go back and name the. I'm thinking I'm probably going to call the wooden one Kraken or something out of request from people in the comments of that video, something along those lines. I haven't really decided yet. So we'll go along this way first. So we got the Wendigo on the left, and on the right we have the train station. So the train station's pretty. There's not a lot to discuss. I'll quickly show you that now. So we can come up here. So the train is actually out at the moment. Let's put this on play actually, so things are moving. So yeah, you got the timetable there. Again, one of those things I probably need to go back and just add a bit more detail to it, like benches and lighting. But as a start, I think it's pretty good. So not much more to talk about that really. And obviously we have the Wendigo. I'll show some POVs, but not all of them, because I don't want this video to go on too long. But there's the Wendigo there. That was kind of the first like popular episode of this series, I think, the Wendigo episode. We have had more popular ones since then. As of me recording this, it's the wooden coaster that's been the most popular. But who knows? Maybe this big red one or the Boomerang overtook it. I don't know. Those haven't come out yet. I think for me, tomorrow, it's Monday. So on Wednesday this week, I'm going to release the restaurant episode where we build the pizza pen. So I don't know if that means anything to you, but that's where I'm at in terms of the actual construction of this park. We have a little area over to the staff only area. It's got like a sort of rudimentary gate thing there. And then, we've got some props. So where the staff can come to, get to a staff entrance to the main building. And of course you have like all the access to the transfer track to the Venom up here. You see they've got those little cogs there as well turning away. And of course we have the oh god. We have the maintenance shed for Venom as well. I think Venom, like, people have criticized Venom of being like an unrealistic ride. I think it's pretty good though. I get that some of the corners are a little bit flat, and this final one especially is very overbanked, as in it banks the wrong way. But I was kind of going for that, to kind of get that sort of overbank turn that it's very popular with the hybrid wooden coasters. They have these kind of absurd turns. This is obviously the OSHA hasn't noticed this pathway yet Coming right up close to the rail as it ascends from the hole over here. And it dives down over there. And then we've got the rest of Venom as well. I won't show Venom's POV because I've shown it a lot. Oh, but the train is right. Oh, fine, we'll watch it. We'll watch it. And here we go. Timed that well, didn't I? So I think it's pretty realistic so far. Fairly standard hypercoaster-esque drop. And I feel like this first corner is pretty good as well. Maybe we took it a little bit fast, but overall, I'm happy. It's big. So Venom, there's not a lot to it really. Just lots of tipping and banking. This corner I feel is pretty realistic because it's actually a set piece. It's not something I built myself, so it's properly heart-lined and streamlined. If the devs know what they're doing at least. I don't know. Oh, a little stutter there. And again, I should probably clean off the edges of this tunnel to make it a little bit more artificial rather than just a natural cave, because I don't know many roller coasters that actually have bare rock cylindrical caves to form the tunnels for their coasters. But I quite like the rugged nature of it. Just dive down into this hole. Now this is where we start to get a bit unrealistic with these flat turns, although the turn we did over the lift hill was also quite flat as well, wasn't it? But there we go, that's Venom. So formerly the biggest coaster of the park. I don't know if Bloodhawk is actually, there goes the train. I don't know if Bloodhawk is actually taller now. I don't know. I think Bloodhawk is bigger by footprint, I'm almost certain. But in terms of height, I'm not sure. Because it starts on an elevated piece of land. It's got a little zebra crossing, not zebra crossing, level crossing. And then the kids' castle play area. I'm so immensely proud of this. I really like the way this came out, especially these climbing walls. Let's got these ladders, we can go up to the top. We'll probably need to add some finishing touches to these slides, don't I? But I guess I never really anticipated people coming up here and inspecting it in this detail, so figured I'd be able to get away with it. But now I've just shown it to all of you, so probably didn't get away with it. Then, of course, we have this thing, the as yet untitled wooden coaster. So I think it's still got its default name, the Monster 3. Which, to be fair, as far as names go, it's not a bad one. But we could probably improve it a little bit, make it a little bit more custom to me. But we'll go ahead and give this a ride, given that it's the most popular coaster in terms of view count as of yet. Again, may have been dethroned at this point, but I don't know. Hopefully it has, for the sake of the channel not stagnating. But yeah, we'll just... Unfortunately, obviously, I can't time-lapse the actual ascent up the lift hills in this video because, it's a live commentary. In case you couldn't tell by the unprofessional nature of it, and me just going, what are we going to... let's go here. I'm going to have a quick sip of my water, actually, whilst we get to the top of the ride. This corner here might be a little bit overbanked, but I think it's fine. It's a very fast-paced ride. I don't know what it is about this ride that I really like. I don't know if it's just the first corner kind of locks into that little corner we just went through there, and the tunnels came out really well. I think just everything, and the queue line as well. How the queue line follows the track really closely. I think it just all came together with this ride, didn't it? I'm really happy with this. In terms of my favourite ride in this park, I'm not sure which one it is. It's either this one, Bloodhawk, or I really like the Boomerang coaster. I'm really happy with how the Boomerang coaster came out. But obviously, Boomerang, there's not many artistic liberties you can take if you're going for a realistic look. And mine's not realistic by any stretch of the imagination. So then, of course, you got the big boys over here. You got Oblivion Black Hole, which emerges. In fact, let's have a look at the... Let's look at the centerpiece of this park, actually, this enormous tower. So a lot of people have commented that the legs look very skinny. And I guess you're not wrong, because compared to the actual scale of the tower, they are quite thin. But when you get up close to them, you can see, they're pretty beefy. They're like double linked as well. You can see we've kind of got an inner support structure and an outer support structure just to help control this thing. And obviously... elevators are not a thing in this game, so I've kind of created this cordoned off. But for the sake of this video, we'll just pretend that there's a lift. So we'll get in the lift and ascend. As we go, we get some nice panoramic views of the park. Obviously, it's somewhat semi-occluded by that path, because in order to get guests to be able to ascend this thing, I had to put paths a little staircase all the way up. But yeah, this thing just goes up and up and up and up. That's one of the designs. So that's only the first level just there, isn't it? So we'll just disembark for a second. So now you can see we're actually level with that dive coaster. So we're pretty high up at this point. Getting a little bit of vertigo here, but we're not quite as high as Venom. And if you look at the rest of the tower, you can see we're still pretty... not quite there yet. Oop. It's not quick load just yet. So we get a nice little another view of the entrance building, as well as of Calamity and that end of the park. So we'll get back in the lift. Just need to go about things sensibly. We can just warp in. And there we go. We can carry on ascending. We've still got a while to go. And there's the entrance building there. Getting smaller and smaller and smaller as we continue to ascend. And there's Rage slowly disappearing below us. The suspension bridge over there, as well as the rest of Oblivion. And there's Bloodhawk doing its first drop. But, oh, let's not get too high up. And here we are, the doors are opening, and we're on the top deck. Oh, glitched a little bit there. Oh. Planet Coaster does this thing where the camera will just randomly lurch when you're in cinematic mode for some reason. In fact, I've got a UI on again, haven't I? Let's turn that off. There we go. So yeah, we've got nice... So I need to do some groundwork on that part of the coaster just there. Here we've got birds at this height. And actually, we're not even anywhere near the top still. There's a little bit more. Obviously, there's no way of accessing that as a guest. Oh. Probably shouldn't use the mouse to do movements at this altitude. But not especially realistic in the sense that most towers like this, they'll have like an overbanking, like an overarch. So suicide jumpers can't get over the edge, but we're not going for total realism with this thing. But yeah, got a nice little appreciation of Venom there. And you can see Rage blur, so we'll ride Rage in a second. But there goes Rage, and then obviously Oblivion is a very tall coaster, but up here, doesn't look it, does it? Very small by comparison. And then you got Enterprise over there. I quite like the way the colour schemes of those two rides match. You've got High Station up there. Again, need to do something over here to necessitate having that station there, and that path is pretty ugly, isn't it? Look how wobbly it is. I'll have to do something to finish that off. And then on the obviously you got the suspension bridge over there, and then Bloodhawk looming ahead in the distance, and then you got the little Venetian Carousel, and it looks like the train is approaching the station. So let's go ahead and jump our way down. Here's a little shot of the crow's nest of that tower there to give you an appreciation of the detailing on the top. So yeah, I really tried to go for a kind of very complexly detailed approach. I didn't want to spare too many compromises. I had a little bandstand there as well. That's just from the vintage pack. Just got threw that in. Okay, so next up is Rage. Let's go here. So Rage is a fairly sort of moderate... Ooh, it's a fairly moderately sized coaster. Oh, we need some supports here, actually, don't we? It's a bit weird. I mean, not just floating there. I was about to say, I mean, I think this is a fairly realistic layout in terms of single rail coasters. Because it's not too big. At least the current ones we have now, like the Wonder Woman and Railblazer. I know there is like a bigger version of it, which is more in line with Planet Coaster's car design, where it's like almost like a hypercoaster scale. But since none exist in real life, there's no way of being able to determine exactly how realistic a layout is. We do have real life counterparts for this sort of scale. And I feel like this is pretty realistic. So let's go ahead and ride this one. So this is it, Rage. So obviously the big selling point for this one is that ridiculous loop. I have been on rides that have really long, flattened versions of that. I mean, one springs to mind is G-Force at Drayton Manor, where the actual lift hill loops back on itself upside down. That was insane. Got a big, scary, over-tilted turn there as we go to the first drop, which is vertical, of course. Pick up loads of speed. In real life, these single rail coasters maintain speed like to an insane degree. It almost feels like the actual Planet Coaster variant loses speed very, very, very quickly compared to how much it loses in real life. But think it doesn't really matter too much. This thing still came together quite well. I don't know if those supports are too close, but there's no custom supports in this coaster apart from the main lift hill area, because at the time the custom support bit wasn't added to the game. There's that big long loop there, and then we just see some random spiralings around. There's a little neck breaker there before coming onto this loop and then doing the cutback. Kind of goes over the queue line as you get back to the station. It's not the smoothest transition to the station, but I think it's satisfactory enough. So that was Rage. Also got the little toilet block as well. That's also in tomorrow's video for me. Well, I guess whilst we're here, we may as well talk about Oblivion. So, come back to the main tower square. Let's look. Is there a car coming? There is. So I've paved over this whole area. There is a path underneath it, so guests will walk along it, but it's only a set area. Go on, drop down. There we go. There we go. And up to the other side. There we go. Very, very fast turnaround. I can't really see. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. I only wasn't sinking down because I'm pressing the wrong button. So I can't really see my keyboard over my pop filter. There goes a car there. So yeah, really like the way this ride came out. So we can go up to the ride itself. We'll use the fast pass queue. And, you know, we'll just cheat our way up a little bit. I'm still not a fan of the logo, actually, on the side of this ride. Oh, just in time. Here we go. So we get a sort of set. I mean, it's going to pale in comparison to what we got on top of the blue tower. You can see, look, there's not a lot of blue tower left, so we do feel quite high. I think this is taller than a lot of dive coasters in real life as well. We've got a beautiful view of the actual rest of the park as well. And then you get the longest. Anyone that's been on a dive coaster before knows how long this wait feels for the drop. There we go. Artificial tunnel as well. But flanked by ground, so it actually has the darkened effect. We'll just swing around here. Well, that was it. I really like the backstage area of this ride, actually. So you got this. So the guests can theoretically walk around here, because I guess that's where the entrance to the exit to Enterprise is. Sorry. But you also have a little gated off area to the entrance as well, because there's like a gift shop at Oblivion. So we kind of need some sort of delivery entrance. Oh, and there goes a car now. So I guess if you know people on the ride, you can wave to them from this sort of viewing area here, but it's probably not going to be very well trodden, to be honest, that pathway. It says Oblivion. I don't think we need to really showcase the POVs for flat rides because it's a fairly repetitive experience, but there we go. Let's go this way. So there's Pizza Pen. Really love the way that came out, actually, that restaurant. Another little seating area over there. Whoa. It's very hard to control the camera like this. I don't usually use this camera mode. And we've got the little Venetian Carousel. Again, this little area, I think it came together quite nicely. Especially this planter area as well. That looks quite, I think that looks well realistic. But don't want to strip my ego too much. We have places to go. So we'll take this path. I really like that rail. Oh god, it's so sensitive. The bloody... Oh, there goes the train. Yay! So we'll just follow this around. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab my controller. Oh, that's better. There you go. Now we actually have some control over the camera's movement. I'm trying to align my mouse. There we go. So we'll just race our way over this way. Can we speed it up? Guess you can't have everything, can you? We're just in time to see Bloodhawk rise up though. Little hill there. There's actually nothing over there at this point though. But I really like the way this track came together actually. That little incline bit. Obviously it's not ideal to have such a steep drop for like a steam train. But as you know, as far as compromises go, I think we did a pretty good job. And we'll just ascend this staircase here. Or at least attempt to with the... It just seems to vary, like how the camera controls work. Okay, so Bloodhawk. Minimalist yet brutalist station. And we're going to, I think this is probably my favourite looking ride. And that is the Boomerangs. We'll quickly lap around here to the square. And we get a good view of this thing here. So this thing is much bigger than real life Boomerangs, and I've kind of made up for that by having a different shaped loop, so this could be a theoretical rarer model that Arrow produced for a bit. And then we get another little shot as it comes back around. I think one of my favourite features of this ride actually is the station. I think the station came together really well as well. So let's give this one a ride. Yes, actually, so far it's the only ride with lockers as well. I probably need to go around and just retroactively make an episode where we just add custom signs to all the big coasters and lockers and stuff as well. Here we go. Ripping through the station, through the Cobra roll, and then to the non-inverting loop. And then we do it all again, but backwards. And then you've seen this bit, haven't you? So yeah, as far as rides go, this is definitely one of my favourites. Favorite I've ever built, actually, not just for this park exclusively. Although to be fair, every roller coaster in this park has been up there in terms of how much I like it compared to the stuff I built before. I think because, you know, as you build more, you get better and better, so you theoretically get better and better as you carry on building. But no, that station came out really nicely, I think, and obviously you got the little queue line over there. Yeah, there's the little station building there. And of course we have Bloodhawk over here, which looks like the train has just got into the station, so we won't need to waste much time. Well, I suppose the lift hill is very long, so we'll wait for a little bit for that thing to get up the lift hill. So the entrance here, not really done much to the entrance yet. We will at some point, but not today. It's got all these barriers here. We'll use the super secret entrance and go up here. But the train has already gone, so let's get boarded on as quickly as we can. And there we go. So yeah, super smooth. I love this first corner. Not as much as the next corner. It's so smooth. Oh, I love it. And then we've got some fairly Venom-esque ups and downs, and then this great corner here. So smooth. I really like the little touch of having the concrete showing pride from the water as well. And there's little ups and downs. before gradually winding our way back to the station. And obviously got that unique little transfer track where it's a elevator. There aren't many in real life that have a vertical transfer track like that. And then obviously you got another shot of the boomerang on the exit. And you can see like the paths are pretty bare. I need to add some bins and street lighting and all that to the paths. And there goes the train. You can see how like big this structure is really. And then you can remember how tiny it looked from the top of that tower. Gives you a nice sense of scale. And then I guess finally we've got the high station. Oh, we got the high station as well. So, nothing. God, high station. Fairly standard. I'm not sure if I like these lights actually. I might change those, but overall, I think this came out quite nicely. Nothing much going on inside. My life in a nutshell. But yeah, that's the park. So a little zoom out here. Oh. But yeah, that's Neptune Park overview video done. So sorry, I guess, that there was no real content this week, but a lot of people wanted to do this, and I've wanted to do an overview like this for a while. I know all the Planet Coaster YouTubers that I watch, I wish they'd do more kind of review, because it's nice watching them build parks and stuff, but it's hard to get a sense of the actual overall progress because they only really show bits of it in videos when they're building a specific thing. So this is the overview video. Oh, there's a little beach actually. Let's not forget about that. Oh my god, the camera. There we go. So you can see, nice little beach scene. This whole corner's actually good. This whole corner came out quite nicely. It just goes to show that, you know, with enough time and patience, you can get really nice things coming out of this game. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you with this shot of the carousel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week and the rest of this series as it comes out. So with that, goodbye. It is Wednesday, my dudes.